36. Dear Kiddo, take my hand into darkness. So, I finally calmed Mom down. It had already ruined the trip. As the saying goes, Mom would always kill the vibe on a good experience. When we were having fun, she had to bring the energy down with some bullshit projection. Because she was always cheating, everyone she dated had to be cheating. I've gone back to my original emails with her, and she even says this. She always cheats first because she assumes she is going to be cheated on. She wants to be first to the punch. This is pure insanity, and I recognize that. But I assumed Mom may have just met the wrong men. I had never cheated and never had any inclinations to do so. But Mom, being Mom, took this as the fundamental dynamic in relationships. It was really bizarre to me. I don't know where it came from or where it comes from. At least I didn't at the time. Now I know that Mom always had an adulterous heart. She was always going to cheat, and for whatever reason didn't believe in monogamy. At least she did believe in it for her partners, but not for herself. And so, naturally, she spent the entirety of our trip accusing everyone within a 10-foot radius of either infidelity or conspiring against her. The waiter? Obviously trying to steal her boyfriend. The elderly woman in the hotel lobby? An undercover spy sent to uncover her secrets. My own love life? Doomed to fail, according to her, because I was just too naive to understand how relationships really work. You see, in her mind, relationships weren't about love, trust, or even the occasional shared dessert. They were a ticking time bomb of inevitable betrayal. At one point, I made the grave mistake of trying to introduce logic into the conversation. Mom, I said, not everyone cheats. Some people actually like monogamy. Her response? She snorted so hard, she nearly choked on her margarita. Oh, Kiddo, she said, dabbing her mouth dramatically. That's adorable. Adorable. Like I had just told her I still believed in Santa Claus, or that carbs don't count if you eat them standing up. She patted my hand as if she were preparing me for some great existential disappointment. You think you know people, she continued. But one day you'll see. No one is faithful. No one. At that point, I wanted to climb out of my own skin. Instead, I smiled and nodded the way one does when a stranger on the bus starts explaining how the CIA is using pigeons to spy on them. There was no reasoning with her. By the time we reached the third day of our trip, Mom had started compiling a mental list of cheaters she had allegedly spotted in the wild. She even started taking notes. I caught her whispering into her phone recorder. Tuesday, 4:15 p.m. Guy in cargo shorts checking out a woman's butt at the pool. Cheater. Should tell his wife. I couldn't take it anymore. Mom, you do realize that looking at someone isn't the same as cheating, right? She gasped like I had just suggested we adopt a pet snake. Oh, so now you're defending the cheaters? And just like that, I was in the hot seat. Never mind that I had literally been faithful in every relationship I'd ever had. Never mind that she had been the one with a roster of affairs. In that moment, I was the villain. By the end of the trip, I was so exhausted I could barely think straight. We packed up our bags, Mom still muttering about the infidelity epidemic, and I just nodded along, praying for the sweet release of solitude. When we finally got home, I collapsed onto my bed, relieved that I could go back to a world where paranoia wasn't the main course at every meal. And yet, despite all of it, I couldn't help but laugh, because no matter how ridiculous, no matter how exhausting, Mom would always be Mom. And some things, dear Kiddo, you just have to learn to accept, or at the very least survive with a decent sense of humor.